Hi there everybody, this is Gemma Seltzer from Kickstarter. I'm going to talk to you today about bringing your project to life with Kickstarter. As I said, my name is Gemma. I lead on Kickstarter's work in the UK, focusing on arts and culture. I support artists and makers of all kinds to bring their ideas to the platform, raise funds, attract support, and share their ideas with a wider community. Before working at Kickstarter, I worked for many years at the Arts Council, and I also work as a writer and maker myself. Kickstarter is the largest funding platform for creative projects, everything from theatre, live art, comics, books, zines, visual art, performance of all kinds comes to life through the direct support of other people. And at the heart of what we do is this, our mission, to help bring creative projects to life. Kickstarter was founded in 2009. We're a global community for creativity and creative projects. We're also a public benefit corporation. That's much like a social enterprise, and it just means we're a company that considers positive impact on society as part of our legally defined goals. I've added here just a sample from the Kickstarter site showing an example of a project. The way it works is individuals and organisations set a goal to realise their creative ideas. They set a number of days to make it happen, and they invite other people to pledge their support. I've added here some stats to the number of projects funded on Kickstarter during our 10-year lifetime, and particularly of note the number of comics projects. Over 9,000 comics and illustration projects funded on the platform, with thousands of individuals pledging over 109 million to the comics category. Excitingly, we have been working with the LDComics community for a year or so, supporting individuals to bring their ideas successfully to Kickstarter. I've added some projects here, some examples of individuals who've found Kickstarter meaningful and useful to support their work. It ranges from Julie Innes, who created an autobiographical comic book about her teen years, and that came to life on Kickstarter last year. Other examples include, most recently, Amelie Pearson, who created an illustrated map of London as part of the Make 100 initiative, which is a call from Kickstarter for individuals to create limited editions of 100 of their projects. And the other examples include Carol Isaacs' a soundtrack to her motion comic project, The Wolf of Baghdad, about the lost Jews of Iraq. And of course, Lady's own Wallis Eates, working with Victoria Anderson, they came to Kickstarter to create a multimedia book including text and illustration that brought together their experiences as running a participatory project in prisons. I'd love to spend just a minute talking about the basics of running a Kickstarter project. Well, the first thing to say is you can just start. You don't need permission, there's no deadline, no entry requirements, no track record needed. There's really just a few rules, and the main one to highlight here is that you must be creating something to share with others. Kickstarter is a funding platform for creative projects, so it's all about your artistic idea at the heart of things. All or nothing funding is a core part of Kickstarter. What it means is that no one is charged for a pledge towards a project unless it reaches its funding goal. This way, creators always have the budget they scoped out before moving forward. It's also less risky, you're not expected to complete your project without the funds to do so, and it motivates your backers. Your community rallies around what you're doing and spreads the word. We also find that it works. Projects either realise and surpass their goal or they never fully take off. Just under 60% of comics and illustration projects reach their goal, which is higher than average compared to the rest of the site. The success rate Kickstarter-wide is around 35%. Other things to note, 75% of projects that reach just 25 backers were funded. So smaller projects or projects with a modest community have a good success rate. And one of the things you might take away from this session is making a list of 25 people that you think are likely to back your project and working out how you'll target them for support. Most projects in the cultural categories, such as comics and illustration and publishing, raise between £1,000 and £10,000. So again, that's a good guideline for working out your goal. And for all successful projects, so if you reach your goal, Kickstarter takes 5% of the total amount and the payment processor Stripe takes 3 to 5%. So as you're setting your goal, that's something to bear in mind. Diving into a bit more detail now, Kickstarter is a storytelling platform, and I think it's really important that you think of it as a place not just to get money, but an opportunity to tell your story, share your vision, and open up your idea to a community. It's an invitation into a project and for other people to get involved, and I think particularly at this moment in time, it's a great tool for gathering a community and gathering people together around a shared idea. Your story is told in 3 key ways. The first is a project video. Kickstarter is a visual platform, so video is a great hook for your backers and invitation into the story. The video should be 1 or 2 minutes long and really build a connection between you, the subject matter, and the audience. The second way to tell your story is through the project image and description. And the way to write your project description is really as if you're explaining a project to a friend. What would you say? What might they ask you? How will you show that you're serious and prepared and capable of doing your great job? It's a chance to tell people a bit about your ideas and invite them to get on board. Finally, the third way to tell your story is through the rewards. People get a sense of who you are and what your work is through the things that you're offering for them to pledge on. So great rewards include those that invite people to get close to your creative process. And really, these are tokens of gratitude. People want to support what you're doing and you give them something in return. I've listed here just some examples of rewards, the project itself, for example, a book or a zine, an acknowledgement, so a thank you, a call out on social media, an experience, something really unique, for example, Amelie's project included a personalised illustration of people's homes. And the final thing here is sort of merchandise and objects, and I put Julie had a Riso print included on her Kickstarter, so these are examples of other things that you produce, other examples of your practice, things like postcard, print, pins. I will say that we know that quite a few people, like up to kind of 20 or 30% of people, pledge on projects for no reward, and actually experiential and conceptual things that bring people into the creative idea are much more persuasive for backers. So you don't actually need to produce a lot of material items and objects in order to get a good number of backers, and in fact you want to focus on raising funds and sharing your ideas with people rather than kind of producing extra things that you think will incentivise people. I'm on the final couple of slides here, but of course I want to talk about building a community, which is another reason that Kickstarter is really great for comic artists and illustrators. It's a really robust and diverse community on Kickstarter. The first thing to do is really map your networks and get a realistic assessment of the people that you're connected to and the organisations and the associations that they have as well. There might be some organisations or individuals that you've been looking for an excuse to connect with, and their potential Kickstarter campaign could be the hook. mapping your networks in a really realistic way and identifying who's likely to pledge towards your project and who might be advocates. So people who maybe you're not comfortable asking, or they're not going to pledge, but they might be people who would share on social media and really champion you in different ways. So segmenting your networks can be really valuable. The other tip I've got is creating a timeline for the whole projects, allowing 6 to 8 weeks before you launch to do some serious planning, working out what you're going to do for the duration of the campaign, working out kind of what content you can share whilst the campaign is live, and then allowing enough time afterwards for creating the work, updating backers, and doing all the creative and promotional things that you need to do once the campaign comes to an end. Another top tip is that emails are the biggest converter of pledges, so rather than worrying too much about putting loads of content on social media, writing emails to contacts and cold outreach using emails can be really persuasive. With that, I will wrap up. There's lots more information on our shiny new Kickstarter.com/UK page with lots of resources and advice for UK creators, so do have a look at that. Remember that your project is an opportunity to invite people to be part of something new, to take your creative work into your own hands and share it with a community of people who will really care about it. Oh, a couple more things actually. I wanted to let you all know about Signs of Change, which is an invitation from Kickstarter for artists, designers, printers, and illustrators to launch projects that make a statement. We really believe that your voice and your work matters, especially right now in the world, and we really want to support you to get that work from out of your head and into the community. So, if you launch a project between 13th of July and the 31st of August, using printed materials to share something that really matters to you or a call to action, we will amplify it and share it with the wider Kickstarter community. And that just leaves me to say thank you so much. I hope that was useful and interesting. I've left my email address on this final slide, gemma@kickstarter.com. If anyone has an idea in mind that they're curious to learn if it would work on Kickstarter or kind of a bit more information, I'd love to hear from you. I'm also continuing to work with Ladies Do Comics, and I'll be hosting a coaching programme from May to December 2020, inviting individuals from the Ladies Do Comics community to join us for a workshop and gain support from me in the UK to bring that idea to Kickstarter. If you're interested, please get in touch. I can tell you a little bit more about it. Thanks so much. Bye.